Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our WebEx session. I am Kamal Makai from the Technical Channel team, and on today, I will moderate our events. On today, the WebEx session topic is Symantec CBX Sales and Technical Webinar, Discover the Next Evolution of the Cybersecurity. And on today, it will be a special session. Last week, we had a sales only. On today, in the next 60 minutes, on the presentation level, Danny, our endpoint protection professional, will share you the details of the solution, of the CBX solution. And like on the last week, they will do the certification. So if you have an access to the partner portal, you are a tier partner or a distributor, then we will give a floor to you to log in to the partner portal and get the sales proven professional certification. And again, the partner portal access is required and need to be available for you. So on today, we will have a presentation, then you can be certified. And after the certification procedure, Danny and Richard will present you on the console level. So on the technical level, on today, you can get additional information about the solution. So on the console level, they will show you that what type of features available, how you can manage what you see on the console. The event, as always, will be recorded, and later we will share the recording link with you. If you have any question, then please use the chat window because everybody by default muted and you cannot unmute yourself. So through the chat window, we will help you. And part of the dedicated Q&A section, we will answer the open questions. Now, Danny, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kalman. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, we see your screen.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Danny. I'm a senior solution engineer with MBCom, taking care of the Broadcom security products. So today is again about CBX. We had last week a session where we went through the sales overview, we went through the product features, things like that. But today, again, as Kalman said, we will also have a technical session where we will go through the console access to give you the look and feel of the solution, basically. So again, coming back, before I start, let's go through a scenario over here. Okay, so an example where a phishing attack happened, a user clicked the link, maybe within a few minutes, it turned into a credential theft on the endpoint, a lateral movement on the network, maybe a data pulled out of the cloud app. So you see 3 domains, 1 attack. Now ask yourself, of the tools your customer runs today, how many of them would have seen the whole chain? Usually the answer is none. Each one might have sawn a fragment. The gap is what CBX is built to close, to have that entire chain with the prevention, detection, the web capability, the data capability, everything together from a single management console, a single agent. All right. So let's deep dive. So we look at the 4 parts over here today. Why the market is consolidating. Secondly, we will talk about the CBX platform itself. What are the business values? The capability pillars, the architecture all about. Then how can we position CBX versus a traditional XDR? And what are the selling points? What are the messaging, the objections? Who are the ideal customers? So we will look at all these things in this initial part. So before we talk about CBX at all, I want to establish the trend. If I do this part properly, CBX will definitely be the conclusion, all right? Why the market is consolidating or why it is going from a point product into an integrated platform approach. So here is the problem. A recent research found that around 34% of the SMBs have no formal security protocol. Many of them lack formal risk framework. Around 72% have no formal security awareness training. And separately, an attack can cross the endpoint, network, cloud in minutes actually. And most alerts land with no context, no clear owner. That is a challenge. So, three consequences. One, attackers cross domains, tools doesn't. Every product see one fragment of the kill chain, and nobody sees the chain actually. The second challenge, alert fatigueness meets the skill gap. More tools means more uncorrelated noise. And a lean team cannot hire its way out of that actually, right? And what is the third challenge? You pay an integration tax. You have to bring in a SIM project, you integrate everything together to have that context mapping done, gluing everything together instead of stopping threats actually. So what I'm trying to say is we are not short of detection problems. We do have detection problems. The problem is correlation and operational problem. That is the challenge. Okay. So if you ask questions to to your customers, just think about it. How many consoles does your team open on an average morning, right? For an endpoint one, for SIM another one, firewall another one, for data security another one. They stay quiet. Let them answer, right? So it is like multiple consoles. So that is the reason why market is consolidating, right? So they want instead of the standalone product approach, which is yesterday's concept, we are moving into an integrated platform. All right. So correlation was your job, usually through a SIM project. Detections arrived with no cross domain context in the earlier days, and every new tool added tuning, training, and overhead. Today's model is one agent and one console across the estate. Correlation is built in, not bolted on. Detections carry endpoint, network, and data context. And the result is lower TCO and far less operational friction. The questions customers ask has genuinely changed, right? So if you look at the customer's perspective, it used to be which tool is the best. Now it's how few tools can run my whole program. So that is the questions customer asks. All right. So that is why we are moving from the yesterday's approach to today's integrated platform approach. Now that's the market. Now let's talk about the CBX actually. Now, what is the CBX platform? Let's talk about it. While traditional enterprises had dedicated teams and experts to deploy, manage, and operate each piece of their infrastructure, today's organizations have small, more agile teams that needs tools that make it easy to identify and stop attacks quickly. So they want easier things. They want tools which do not complicate their life, right? They want tools which needs to provide them the context, the entire visibility across the control points, because they might not have big teams, they have fewer employees, right? So you need to have an integrated platform, and that is CBX all about. So when Broadcom announced CBX, which is basically an XDR platform. So you can tell it is an XDR platform, purpose built to help smaller teams defend or even big enterprises defend against the latest threats. So that is all about CBX. CBX is a product that takes all these enterprise grade security tools. So when I say enterprise security tools, we are taking components from Symantec, we are taking components from Carbon Black, merging it together, bringing the cross-product enrichment and correlation together with a single agent and a single management console. So if you look at this screen, you can see that the endpoint protection component is there, EDR is there, web security is there, and data security enrichment is there, right? So in this, the endpoint detection and response is what is being taken from Carbon Black. whereas the protection, web, and data, everything is Symantec. Like these are all established, well-known products, which we have baked together and providing you that enrichment and correlation from a single console. So that is it all about. So it is a single product that does not that does native correlation. So it does native correlation. It does not need. It does not have a dependency on a SIM to do a correlation. It does its native correlation and provides you the cross-product enrichment across multiple attack vectors, eliminating the need for a SIM or a third-party tool. So uh, am I replacing a SIM? No, I'm not replacing a SIM because SIM has its own context window where you can integrate different layers of products starting from endpoint, network, security components, things like that, right? But Symantec EDR, CBX is basically a native XDR for Symantec technology. So we are taking Carbon Black and Symantec technologies and combining it uh, together in that XDR league. So basically, it's a combination of endpoint protection from Symantec and Carbon Black, web security from the secure web gateway product, data security enrichment from the Symantec uh, data security posture management. So with CBX, all the tools built by both Carbon Black and Symantec are mapped together, uh, and it evolves the threat landscape because it has come together. It's joined hands and finally come together. So again, Symantec is an XDR platform purpose built for smaller and larger teams to defend against the latest threats. Okay. Now with CBX, security teams can see more, stop more, and respond faster by operating in an ongoing cycle, actually. So you can see that adoption, detection, and response, that cycle can be easily followed. Adapting or tailoring their environment, detecting the latest threats across their endpoints, networks, cloud apps, and responding across those control points to eliminate future occurrences of the same threat. So we are also giving, I'm sure many of you who is joining this webinar are pretty strong in the SES part. So you have that adaptive protection capability also coming in where we are going to give that predictions basically for like 3 or 4 levels in advance to make the adversary's life miserable actually. So to block that kill chain. Yeah. So what adapting is basically hardening manual or automated policy updates, which includes real-time threat prevention, predictive security. You have threat tracer from Carbon Black coming in. It is a unified visibility. Okay, so it accelerates detection and response. And most importantly, advanced alerting with less noise. So it correlates the metadata from the endpoint, the web, the DLP products, and it gives a better outcome. So noise reduction is the main thing since it's a native XDR and the products are all from Symantec and Carbon Black together. It eliminates false positives actually. So what we have seen is by around 90-95%, it can really eliminate the false positives. So again, I'm not telling it is going to be a replacement of SIM. It is a native XDR for Symantec and Carbon Black technologies. So again, when we talk about the adaptation part, I've already spoken that you have that real-time threat prevention, which stops attacks before they execute, basically. And it can give you that prediction capability. When it comes to the detection part, it is going to be correlation between all these control points, DLP, endpoint, and web. It can also give you that visualization context. So that is exactly called threat tracer. You will see that in the demo and the technical presentation. And then you have the response capability. So remediate across endpoints, neutralize threats sooner, and you can visualize the impacts basically. So here in this slide, we will focus on the core CBX use cases as they relate to the attack chain sequence shown, all right? So as we will see, these areas are well covered by layered technologies of CBX solution, here categorized and grouped together to highlight their main areas of focus. In the pre-attack phase, CBX contains several tools to help reduce the overall attack surface of the environment. And in the attack phase, CBX full stack of attack prevention technologies defends customers from both known and emerging threats. And finally, in the post-attack phase, CBX shines with a full suite of tools and technologies to identify, investigate, and remediate the threats in the environment. So you see the full cycle based on the threat landscape actually. And the components of CBX include a single agent. Again, it is a single agent deployed, cross-product enrichment and correlation across the endpoint, web, and data security points, as well as intelligence data from the largest reputation service called GIN, Global Intelligence Network. So you all know about it. I'm not going to too much highlight about it. So let's take a closer look at some key use cases and focus on how they relate to the attack chain sequence shown over here. So you can see everything basically mapped over here in this particular slide. Now, coming into platforms, what are the benefits of the platform, right? So as I told you, the trend is moving into platforms rather than single products or siloed products. First benefit is platforms are extensible. It can be extended. So if you look at the news, every approximately 2 years, threat actors make a major leap forward. Every 2 years, we see them adopting new technologies, new skill sets, new tactics, new techniques, and then again infiltrating. Customers want to know that they are partnered with active innovators. So, like Broadcom is always active innovator, who have extensible solutions that are well equipped to land, to expand for their latest needs, basically. All right. Now, what is the second benefit of platform? Platform gives organization more power, control, and flexibility when it comes to their purchases. Okay. So platforms offer rich capabilities across multiple pillars, opening up opportunities for bundles. So you can have that bundle concept where, hey, I only want this capability, provide me that bundle. If I want that XDR full-fledged capability, provide me another bundle. So you have that flexibility when it comes to platforms. All right. Now, another thing is integration. The market is starting to realize that returns on investment in individual control points decrease over time. The next frontier is integration. So that is exactly what we are doing. We are integrating all these core Symantec and Carbon Black capabilities into a single platform. Now, again, platforms provide common components like reporting, all right? There is no need of a duplicate workflow, so they can avoid duplications. Customer know that providers isn't wasting time maintaining duplicative or cross multiple components. So we don't have duplications when it comes to platforms, right? It is core capabilities per control points. So best of the breed no longer delivers the best outcomes. Tighter integrations are lower the talent bar, reduces cost, and improves customers' outcomes. So finally, increasing signal diversity reduces noise, making the hidden more obvious actually. Native data exchange. So it is native data from Symantec and Carbon Black technologies coming in. And it reduces the number of agents. So earlier it was for protection, another one agent, for ADR one agent, for DLP another agent. So it's not like that. So you have everything together from a single agent and from a single control management server. Now, what is the business value of CBX? Main thing is lower TCO. So when it comes to a single platform, it replaces multiple products, agents, and consoles, right? So it is faster time to value. Deploy one agent, get a working console. There is no multi-quarter integration projects anyways. Let operational overhead become correlation in native. Okay, rather than having that multi-project SIM integration project for correlation and blowing up your budget, let that native correlation do the job. All right. Enterprise grade for lean teams. That is another thing. So it is enterprise grade products. When you come look at the products, it's all from Symantec and Carbon Black, which is enterprise grade, and it is purpose built for lean teams. So this is very important. CBX is built for organizations that need enterprise security, but cannot uh, for the staff like an enterprise SOC. Okay, proven heritage is where Carbon Black EDR depth with Symantec prevention, network, and web data, everything coming together on a single product. So it is two mature portfolios which we have bought together, and it grows with the customer. So maybe you start with the essential. I will talk about the different capable features coming in these bundles in the coming slide. So maybe you start with the essential, and then you move all the way to the XDR complete bundle. All right. So the one liner is CBX turns buy more tools into do more with one protection your existing team can actually run. Okay, so just use one tool, one solution, one platform for all these different control points actually. All right. Now this is the slide which talks about the difference between the two bundles. So there are two bundles which we will be offering. One is the essential bundle, and another one is the complete bundle. So if you look at the essential bundle part, it is majoritively the prevention capabilities, the endpoint security prevention capabilities. And if you look at, if you know about Carbon Black, the audit and remediation part, which had the live query and the live response. So live query is asking question to the endpoint, and live response is taking a direct connection to the endpoint, right? So these two capabilities are also part of the essentials. So you can basically have that prevention capabilities from Symantec side, including antivirus, firewall, IPS, adaptive prevention, behavior analytics, what do you say? Then you have those allow listing, deny listing, all these things what SES has, that comes as part of the prevention capability. And along with that, you have that live query capability. You have Symantec AI security assistance. You're going to get AI security assistance, which is already there as part of the ESA, right? So you're going to get that on CBX also. And if you see that there are a few things which are on those asterisks where it tells vulnerability assessment and CIS benchmark. So that is a capability which we are taking from Carbon Black onto CBX, but it will not be available on GA, and that is why you have that asterisk. It is going to come. It is in the roadmap, and in the GA, it's basically only supports Windows, Mac OS, and Linux support is going to come in the future. Actually, all right. So that is also in the roadmap. And then when you come into the complete picture, right? You have that EDR thing also coming in. You have that web security component also coming in. You have the data security enrichment also coming in. So that is what we talk about, the complete XDR lake. So you have the prevention, you have the EDR, you have the web security, and you have the data security, which we are including in the complete bundle. So very, very important thing, just take a note of this. Essential is prevention purely with a bit of live query and live response capabilities with AI security. And CBS Complete is the entire stack where you get the EDR, you get the web security and the data security. You look at the licensing metering, it is going to be per device. That is how it is going to be metered. Now, this is the white trust moment, I would say, use it. So the number matters here actually. So if you know, Symantec is very well known when it comes to notable discoveries like Stuxnet or Regine malware or Daxin malware, you name it. And every CBX detection inherits that same intelligence pipeline actually. So that is basically the global intelligence network, the GIN. All right. So it is definitely integrated with CBX as well. And again, so many awards, partner of the year from Google, all the way into IDC, SE Labs, and we are proven, trusted, and recognized. So that's why I put this slide. It's not that we are a niche new product. We have heritages of history, actually, many years of history, and we are combining these two legendary products together to give the customers the best out of what we have. Now let's look at positioning and differentiation. So how do you have to position, all right, when it comes to CBX? So first of all, let's understand how CBX differs from a traditional XDR, okay? Now, talking from the telemetry model. Traditional XDR ingests third-party feeds. You have to normalize. So maybe they ingest third-party feeds into their XDR lake. They might have a SIM component also laid onto the platform, and it's actually a big it is it blows the budget. You have to do that normalization. There is a lot of work in the backend. Ingest the data, normalize it, and then yeah. So that is how the traditional XDR basically work. But for Symantec CBX, it is native. It is our own sensor. It is our own unified data stream which normalizes things. It is our own components which we have integrated into this platform. So we do the correlation really well. So we are avoiding the correlation burden for you. And traditional XDR basically pushes correlation onto your team. Most of the time you have seen that is when the requirement comes, hey, I want to integrate ingest data from another solution. So it is always pushing onto the customer to have that normalization or aggregation basically coming in. So the detection quality follows from that. So basically more alerts will be coming in. So you ingest more data, more alerts coming in, more noises versus fewer high fidelity context-rich detections, which Symantec CBS basically provides. All right. Now, when you look at the breadth versus the depth, most platforms are strong in one domain, or maybe they are in few domains actually. Now, CBX gives Carbon Black's EDR depth. I've already spoken about this with Symantec's breadth and designed for traditional XDR. Which is basically which can be positioned for customers who are who have lean teams. They don't have big SOC, right? So you can position Symantec CBS to those customers actually. Now, traditional XDR gives you a bigger inbox. Maybe CBX gives you fewer correlated, higher fidelity detections, which is most important. Yeah. Now, native XDR is a deliberate choice what we have done, right? So we can always create a solution like an open XDR or a traditional XDR to ingest data from another providers. But we have actually gone with the native XDR, which is a deliberate decision actually. Now, why we have doing this as deliberate is because it is sensors we build. So telemetry is something which we are speaking. We don't have dependency on other tools to do that. What do you say, correlation or ingestion? We don't want a third-party firewall or SIM to ingest log into our solution. We do the normalization and correlation part. So basically, it is far less tuning. Detections arrive with context. You will have lesser noises. It is going to be high fidelity and fast triaging. Very important. When you go into your triaging, it has to be fast triaging. The noise has to be very less. You need to have that context, well contexted alerts, investigation, everything to be triaged properly, right? To get that meaningful or to get that value out of the solution. So now, if you ask me, can we forward logs to SIM? Obviously, you can do log forwarding to SIM. So if that is a customer requirement, hey, can I integrate the CBX onto our SIM? You can definitely do that, like all our solutions. You can have that forwarders configured. And again, I'm telling you, it is not a SIM replacement. We are not here to replace a SIM. We have brought into the market a native XDR actually. So we are not here to replace a SIM. Now, how do you sell XDR? What is the messaging? What are the objections? And who are the ideal customers actually? All right. So it is an enterprise grade XDR built for teams that don't have enterprise SOC actually, right? And if you say nothing else in a first meeting, say that. So you can tell that, hey, you don't need to have an enterprise SOC. It is not, if you want, you can definitely do that. But it is built for lean teams actually. So mid-market customers, lean teams who don't have large SOC teams to do that analysis or triaging basically. So the 5 sound bites to repeat until you're bored. So basically consolidate, don't complicate. Replace point product sprawl with one platform. That is another thing. So you're replacing point products with a single platform. Another thing, it is a native XDR, which gives you higher fidelity information, right? So this is very important. So best of Carbon Black and Symantec. Earlier, I'm sure that we had a lot of complaints when it comes to, hey, I like Carbon Black EDR, but I want to keep Symantec AV. Don't you have a consolidated product? So we have seen all these challenges. Now we have the answer for it. All right. So we have the XDR. We have a single platform combining all these things together. So let's grow with you. We have integrated all these solutions. Let's go with you. Now let's answer the hard questions. Okay, these are going to be some challenging questions which might come. Does CBX replace my SIM? Again, no, it does not replace. CBX is a native XDR, which can feed your SIM through data forwarders. So it is not a replacement. We can feed data to your SIM solution. Next question, can it ingest my firewall logs? Not today, okay? I don't know if there is a roadmap for this, but not today. CBX correlates our own sensors for fidelity. So we have taken our own products, our own sensor. And for cross-sensor correlation, we can always forward CBX logs into a SIM solution, as I told you earlier. So we don't ingest logs at the moment, but we can forward it to your SIM solution. Next question is data security full DLP. Okay, when you say full DLP, the prevention capabilities or controlling, having the data prevention capabilities coming in like a full DLP stack. No, we are not there at the moment. What we have right now is the DSPM would give you data enrichments a bit, and then we can have some few secure lets configured like M365 Box or Google Workspace to get that entire auditing. For example, you integrate M365, you will have visibility on mails coming in, mails getting deleted, or you upload information to your, OneDrive. You can get information about that, which file got uploaded. And what the DSPM component does is that it gives you that, and it gives you that enrichment for data when it comes to confidential data, all right? And then we can map it with that alert. So you can have that going as an alert context, telling that, hey, this particular file was tried to be exfiltrated, which had confidential data. So who is providing you that enrichment? It is that DSPM thing, right? So more features might come in. I don't have a roadmap for that. Maybe you might see more features coming in. So that is something which we have to wait and see. Now, where does network visibility come from? So I was talking here, you get a little bit of network visibility also. That is basically done from the endpoint agent itself, because SEP has the network IPS and the firewall, all right, which can produce connections, DNS, and TLS telemetry information. And on top of that, you have a web security, which is a separate inspection layer for the web traffic. But for your network telemetry, it will be the network IPS and the host firewall, basically, which is that as part of the endpoint agent. Now, then they might ask, okay, what are the differences between essential? I've already told you. Essential is core for prevention. So you look at only prevention, but when you look at the complete, it is going to be the entire XDR lake. So you have the web security, data security, EDR, endpoint security, everything together on a single platform and with a single agent. All right, so that is the complete XDR. Now, who you can sell? Mid-market lean SOC customers. You can target existing SEP customers or Carbon Black customers, so maybe existing Carbon Black cloud customer or existing SEP customer who are okay to go to a SaaS solution. You can definitely position them. Challenges might only arise when you position this to enterprise customers or government customers who want data residency, right? Yeah, because we have our POP at the moment in US and one POP is there in Europe, all right? So if it is for those customers, yes, definitely it's okay. You have that residency. And we have our services deployed on GCP, all right? So Google is our preferred partner. But when it comes to that data residency requirements, we are not there. So that is why positioning it to mid-market customers who don't have that concern is definitely one way of selling, right? And then you target the MSSP customers who have lean operations. Another thing is that vendor consolidation. Maybe they have EDR data, and then endpoint security from different vendors. If you want to have that consolidation, have everything under a single vendor, you can definitely position our solution. regulated and data sensitive organizations. So one endpoint plus cloud activity visibility in one place. So again, regulated. If the customer is very concerned about the data residency, especially in our region where on-premise is still bread and butter, be very careful because we definitely don't have a POP here, but who are okay for that cloud migration, cloud journey without concerns on data residency, definitely we can position our solution there. Again, where the business is consolidation, you can look at your install base upselling, you can look at MSSP enablement, land and expand. So when I say land and expand, maybe they have EDR from one vendor, they are not happy with the endpoint protection component from a different vendor and they want to change it, position them the essential and then expand them from the essential to complete. Remove their EDR as well and provide our XDR offering to them. So that is how we take it. So let's remember three things over here. We have seen platforms have always won, all right? And CBX is the native XDR, everything from Symantec and Carbon Black onto a single platform, onto a single management console, and one agent, one console, and one truth. That's what we are positioning. So everything single. We don't have multiple agents anymore when it comes to CBX. I'm going to show you a little bit of console screenshots, maybe another 5 more minutes. So that is going to be, you will see, we will have much deep dive when we are doing the technical session. That is a top level navigation where you can basically see the dashboard view. You can see views for the endpoint security. You can basically see the networks. Some of these things are actually renamed. This is a little old console. The new console, the naming convention I've seen, you can see the detect and respond, endpoint security, you can see web security, and then you can see data security in the latest console actually, right? Then that is the AI analysis. So Symantec AI intelligence is there. So you get that analysis out of your investigation, which tells you what exactly happened, what are the tactics, what are the techniques used, what is the investigation steps, and what are the remediations along with predictions on what can happen next. Okay, so in the technical session, we will see all these things. That's the MITRE mapping. You have all the tactics and techniques mapped against the MITRE framework. That is a threat tracer graph, which gives you a visualization on basically what happened. So it gives you the correlation in a visual manner. So you go from the top down, you can see, hey, that's where it landed. From that implant, maybe a command line was called, or maybe a PowerShell is called. And then if you deep dive, you can see what exactly the commands are run into it. And here in this diagram, you can see some LSAS dumping, credential dumping is also happening, all right? And there is a connection going into a CNC server also. So you get the entire information like a visual graph for you. Then you have the entities and remediation. So every entity as part of this investigation is shown over here. Let that be an IP address, let that be a process, let that be the command line, PowerShell, whatever execution happened, you entirely see that entities and remediation. And then here is the entire remediation action as part of the analysis which has been done, where we are telling, hey, what you have to do, you have to isolate the endpoint, or you have to quarantine, block that particular hash, or you have to, what do you say, reimage the system, whatever it is there, we provide you that recommendation, okay? So with that, I leave the floor open for the next part where we will be we will be logging into the partner portal and we will try to see if we can do the proven professional sales certification. Kalman, Andres, can I hand the mic to you?
Thank you very much, Danny. Yes, Andres is here. So if you finish the presentation, then I would like to give a floor for Andres, and he will guide you that how you can do the certification. And part of that, if you feel the challenge, you can do the certification. He will tell you the details. Andres, the floor is yours. Andres, we don't hear you. I'm not sure that you're. No, we don't hear you. It seems you are not muted, but we don't hear you. You are muted. Wait a minute. You are muted. We don't hear you. Sorry for the technical issue. Let me to check Andrew's settings. Yeah, theoretically we should hear you, but we don't hear you. Don't hear your voice.
We make him the presenter, Kalma?
Yes. He's here in the stage, in a panelist, and
Okay. Can't hear him.
another option, Andrew, is if you come to the meeting room 8, then we can do here together the session. Andrew, we don't hear you. We don't hear you. Okay, meanwhile, Andres returned to the session. For your information, that it's not a proven professional sales certification is very easy. So I highly recommend for everybody who has an access to the partner portal to do now. And if you have any question, then you can ask us, because the product professionals are here. We can help you if you have any open question. Naturally, because this is an online test, we cannot help you to answer all of the question. But you will see that each of the questions are very easy to find out that what is the right answer. If you failed, don't worry. You can repeat any time and unlimited time the online test. But again, you will see this is very easy. Meanwhile, Andres arrived or returned to the session. In the chat window, he copy pasted the link, but I put again. And additionally, Danny, if you think, please go through on the questions, because a lot of questions came meanwhile you do the presentation. Some is not answered, so please help for the colleagues to get the answer to their questions.
Sure. I'll go through that and let me answer it.
Sure. Okay, Andres is here. Let me to switch to the speaker, and we can continue here together. Okay, I switch to the and the speaker. Danny, do you hear us? Can you please confirm?
Okay.
Danny, do you hear us?
Okay.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, great. So I've already shared the link to the partner portal in the chat window, but Coleman will just open it up now. So I'll just show you where to find the information. Okay, great. So
and I share my screen. Wait a minute, please.
Definitely, thank you.
Yeah, share my screen, and the floor is Andres.
Yeah.
I log in before we start the session.
Yeah, while Coleman is busy logging in, I just want to make sure the session is not to resolve login issues. So for those that have login issues, please send us an email and we'll try and get you help. The session is purely to show you how to find the exam and to pass the exam. Sales certification. Of course, you'll find it. So if you go into the Symantec port under the partner portal, you'll see the CBX landing page here. And basically, this will give you all the information. So I'll talk a little bit about the CBX Sales Expert Certification as well, because I do believe that is an important next step for you to achieve. It's also super easy, so I highly recommend to try and get your Expert Sales Certification. However, for the Proven Professional Certification on the landing page, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see. So if you go to the landing page and you scroll down to the bottom right-hand side, you will see there's a section called certifications. And under the certifications, this is for sales certifications. So you'll get your proven professional certification as well as your expert certification. So what I want everybody to do that hasn't done their certification yet, I know there's a lot of people that has done it, is to just click here under the assessment, the click here button. That will take you straight to the assessment to allow you to write the assessment. Now, the good thing is, I think everything that Danny has just presented will overqualify you to allow you to pass this assessment. However, if there is questions, please feel free to ask them. We will be answering the questions as it is being posted on the chat session. So that will take you to the proven professional assessment. However, if you want to go the next step in terms of your certified expert certification, basically what you will need to do is you will need to download this presentation under the customer presentation section, and you will need to record yourself for 30 minutes presenting the solution. If you need to review the presentation, if you're not sure what to say, or if you're looking for specific things to mention at each slide, you can actually go and see the recording of that same presentation under the learning playlist. So basically, just to recap, you will find your proven professional assessment here under the proven professional section. You can just go and click here and you'll find it. And if you want to progress to the certified expert piece, you can go and download the presentation here, look at the recording, and then when you feel comfortable in presenting the solution, you can record yourself presenting the solution. After you've recorded yourself, you can upload that presentation here, and then somebody from Broadcom will review it, and you will get your certified expert certification for sales. I see there was a lot of technical questions as part of the chat. I urge all of the technical people to please stay on the call after we've done the assessment, because the technical, Danny will cover the technical aspects after the session, and I'm sure a lot of your questions will be answered during that session, which might not have been cleared about during the sales session. So please stay on the line. We will also go through the technical certification process as part of that session to show you what you need to do in terms of getting your expert certification as well as your night certification for CBX. But for now, yeah, please access the assessment. I think we'll allow for around 10 minutes, Coleman, for everybody to do the assessment. It really doesn't take that long. And then once you have done, I think just send us a ping if you've passed it. I think it will be nice to see how many people is passing the session during the...
last time it was useful.
Yeah,
you give a feedback on the chat that you are done and successful.
So it will be nice to see your results live on the session. And then, of course, at a later stage, you can go and do the certified expert certification as well. Great. Thank you very much. Good luck with the assessment. I'm sure you'll find it very easy. Thank you. Thank you, Coleman.
Okay, on my side, I stopped this recording temporary, so unnecessary to record this part. We will upload the sales session and naturally the technical sessions to the YouTube channel. We won't include the examination part because for the YouTube watchers is not important. So I switch off the recording. Please stay on the meeting if you want to do the certification and if you're curious about the technical details. For the salesperson who will leave because the technical part is not important for them, thank you very much for your attention. Here I can confirm for you that we will release for you the recorded version. And if you have any question, feel free to contact with me and we can continue the journey involving Danny or any other regional product professional, and we are here to support you to learn about the solution and teach you and help you to evangelize the solution on the field. Thank you very much, and please do not break the line if you want to do the certification and you want to watch the technical part. I see the message that I can sign in. Sorry for that, but part of this meeting we cannot help about the login issues. So if you have any problem, let me to switch the web camera. Here I share my email address. This is what you see on the webcam view now, key.makai@mbcom.com. Please send me an email, and in the background, outside of this event, we will investigate the issue and we will try to help you to get an access to the partner portal. Please note that to the partner portal, only the tier partners and the distributors can access. So by default, maybe you don't have an access, but I see that you are from Axis, so theoretically you should have an access. We will help you outside of this session. Now I really stop the recording or pause the recording and okay.
Coleman, I don't know if you're going to take it or if we're going straight to Danny. Sorry.
Thank you. I resume to record the session. So now everything will be recorded. Please do not share any sensitive information. And before we start the technical session, here I want to highlight that we have a challenger program at Broadcom and Bacon, which means that if you reach the technical certification and within this you reach the certified expert, then you can join to this team, which means that part of the challenger program we can deliver for you early access to the product. So for example, we can give access to the CBX product, which is not, because this is not available yet. You cannot order NFR or you cannot order any trial license, but on our side, we can give you the opportunity to look around under your console, to taste the solution. So if you are curious and you are certified, so minimum you have a proven professional pre-sales, then we can give an access. And if you reach the certified expert, then this is the next level of the technical certification, then we can onboard you to the Challenger program and you can get additional details, roadmap information. Moreover, you are entitled to attend on the annually organized Challenger Summit. The next, by the way, will be in middle of October. So I highly recommend to certify yourself, to continuously refresh your knowledge, because we can give additional benefits for you. So this is about the certification. The record is active. So Danny, the floor is yours. And in the next 60 minutes, please show for the colleagues the console and the technical details of the CBX. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalman. Appreciate it. And thank you everyone once again. So now we are gonna get into the technical details. So how I plan to do it is to have a short presentation on the architecture, the components, how it talks to each other. Then we will do a deep dive into the console. All right, so I want to talk about the components in the console, how it is looking, how can you get, how do you get into investigation, how do you look at stuff like that, and then at the end we will talk about the certification also. And the focus during the demo is I will be focusing key areas which might from where questions are expected to come more. All right, especially the investigation, those areas is where you see a lot of questions coming. And I'm sure you guys are well knowledge on the Symantec or the ESA part as well. So we will definitely give you the guidance on how do you have to prepare for the exam. So unlike the sales deck, okay, here we are actually going into the platform. Okay, we are looking the underneath of the platform, the agent, the data pipelines, the console, the AI layer. So let me get into the architecture. So this is the master diagram I would like to refer. So maybe I will put this as a reference point throughout the presentation. All right. Now there are two mirrored halves. So that is one half, that is the other half, second half. Okay, so you have two mirrored halves. And on the cloud side, so that is the cloud side, you have the management platform, which handles UI federation, integration. So that is the management platform. And then underneath that, you have three pillars. So you have the endpoint pillar, you have the cloud switch express pillar, and you have the DLP secure, let's GSPM pillar actually. All right. So then you have the data platform. So this is the platform where you will see cross-product enrichment, correlation, event injection, everything sending from the agent. So the agent sends it. This is the particular layer where everything gets enriched and correlated. And then when you look at the second half, you can see the endpoint side. You will see the endpoint prevention, which is mainly from Symantec. You will see the endpoint EDR, which is from Carbon Black. You're going to see the Cloud Suite Express module, And then we call it as DSPM Lite because it's not a full DLP for prevention, everything. You need to have dedicated DLP stack. This is just DSPM for that data enrichment, what you're going to have. All right. So that is how CBX is built basically. So, and it is built on the endpoint security agent. I'm sure you all have played with the ESA platform, and it's built on the same ESA agent actually. All right, with additional capabilities. Now, the CBX agent basically leverages your endpoint security agent architecture I've told you. It is basically a modular feature blade framework architecture where you can have modules enabled or you can have modules disabled based on the requirement actually. And it's going to support over the network provisioning, live updates, same like your Symantec stack, okay? And then it is basically designed for the cross-platform parity, operational agility, and streamlined maintenance across all OS platforms. So on GA, as I told you, it is going to be for Windows, but we are going to support Linux and Mac, which is there in the roadmap. So now this is the internal wiring, I would say, for the ESA agent itself. Again, there are 3 layers. Let's look from the bottom up. Okay, so let's look like this. Where in the bottom you have the installer, you have the bootstrap, you have the debugging, telemetry, all those things are in the bottom actually, okay? And then tray UI, everything. On the top is where you have the platform and services, where you have tamper protection, licensing, your core services, your EAP engines, plugins, everything basically comes in the middle. And then you have the connectors and blade management, where you have the EC connector, the endpoint, the EDR connector, you have the secure web gateway connector, and the DLP connector actually. So here it's in this because it's a light DSPM connector at the moment. In the future, maybe, yeah, you might have other capabilities coming up. And then you have the CBX management interface. You have the data platform. Data platform is basically the UDS, which does the correlation, and it gives you that context basically from telemetries coming from different modules. All right. So that is the ESA architecture completely. Again, you had the ESA platform already. Now, what is new with the CBX Blade? This is what we are going to see, right? So with the CBX Blade, with the ESA platform, you already had all these things available. Now, what we have added is we have added the live query blade, where you ask questions to the endpoint, came from Carbon Black. Live response, where you take secure connection onto the machine. It actually came from Carbon Black. And then you have the DSPM, the CloudSwitch sensor connector, which connects and maps all those sensors. Deception techniques like canary files and all those things came from Carbon Black. Then you have, you have the different services. These are the blades. These are the services. You would see the DSPM service. You would see the sensor service, live query service, different diagnostics. So everything highlighted in green is what has been added into the CBX Blade actually. So the Blade and the services. Now, that's the CBX management console. It's, as I told you, it's a platform designed to support native XDR. And it is integrating Carbon Black and Symantec products and technologies together on a single platform. All right. Now, let's get into the contributions. When it comes to, so these are the different contributors when it comes to CBX. You have this ESG platform itself from where we have the contributions. We have contributions coming from ICDM. We have contributions coming from Carbon Black Cloud, from CloudSwitch, and from the CloudSock DLP. All right, so especially on the Securelet's and Cloud Services Library. Then for the CloudSwitch, it is CloudSwitch Express, what we are going to use. ICDM, you get the dashboards, you get the reports, everything came from ICDM. And then you have the federated integration of identities and SCIM, the tenancy support, everything come from the ESG platform. So these are the contributors for for the CBX new platform. Now again, you can see that, hey, if you look at the CBX platform itself, it is mapped over here from where the contributions have come in. So here, the dashboards have come in from the ESA, ICDM, and the Cloud Suite, basically. And then you have detection and response. So this is where the Carbon Black stuff has completely come in for the alerts, investigation, events. When you look at file inventory, where you get file information about like low risk, medium risk, high risk files, you get it as a file inventory that actually came from the ICDM. You can search for your endpoint artifact, you can search for the files from there. XDR policy, again, came from the ICDM. Endpoint, okay, so endpoint means endpoint prevention. We have taken some good features of Carbon Black Cloud also. Majority is from ICDM, but some has been taken from Carbon Black Cloud also, the prevention capabilities. Policy is mainly built on the ICDM parameter. And then when you look at the web, it is completely Cloud Suite. If you look at the data, it is from the DLP, the DLP Cloud or Cloud Stock. Agent management is completely from ICDM, and administration, external identity integration, API, auditing, everything from the ESA platform. So you can see it is a mix and match. We have taken the best out of all these contributors, and we have layered it onto the CBX platform. And as you know, the core agent is the ESA agent itself, where we have added the extra CBX services and capabilities onto it. So I believe most of the questions were around this. Now you know the architecture, where it came from, who are all the contributors actually. So the data platform is kind of the nervous system, I would say, for the XDR, okay, because it actually normalizes, enriches, it gives you that detection with less false positives, does the correlation, classification, everything is done from the data platform. So the data platform, we have taken this platform from Carbon Black, actually, the data platform, and we do have contributions from ESG also. So it gives you that normalization and enrichment layer actually for that XDR capability. So that is again the unified data stream, which we have spoken about. Carbon Black Cloud. It was built on Carbon Black Cloud. Carbon Black Cloud already had it because we had to bring in this unified UDS to integrate the antivirus, the next generation antivirus and the EDR. So we have basically borrowed that for that integration with the endpoint protection capability and Carbon Black capability, and along with enrichment for all the other control points actually. All right. So it is very large process scale. You can it handles high process events actually, high throughput. It's very flexible when it comes to searches, detections, alert, machine learning, and data forwarding. So you can forward it to your customer data lakes, let that be an S3 bucket or Azure Blob or GCS, or if you want to have that integration with the local SIM, you need to have a mediator in between to have that API integration and forward it to the SIM. But always for a SaaS solution, the recommendation is to have it forwarded to your AWS bucket or Azure. So to get that real near-time data being synchronized with your SIM. All right. Again, Symantec AI platform, it does the translation basically. So it is an agentic AI platform embedded directly into the CBX platform. All right. And it definitely accelerates investigation. I'm sure that you've already seen it as part of the ESA. You have already played around with this Symantec AI, and we do have that capability again coming into Symantec CBX, which is pretty. It can translate natural language into complex event queries. So if you want to build your custom queries, you don't know how to build it, you can naturally ask it. It definitely helps you do that. And your day-to-day operation, it definitely streamlines everything. Okay. So when we come into the CBX Symantec AI platform, we are basically it's it's how it is structured. It's breaked into 5 capabilities. That's what I want to say. So there is a planning retrieval, there is cache augmentation, action and delegation, function and tooling calls, and reflection and adaptation, basically. So these are the 5 things, how it is categorized, basically. And then you can actually have this agent loops running in. So you have this MCP tools and resources within the platform. Unlike I've recently seen many vendors integrating AI solutions onto their XDR lake, especially on Claude, those agents and their models being integrated to have that MCP capabilities when it comes to agentic AI, right? So I have seen that, but for Symantec, we have our capabilities already baked in because AI or ML is not something which we know now. We have had it like long time ago itself. So we have now made it more user friendly. You can ask natural questions to the to get that custom queries coming in, and it has that integrated MCP tools and resources basically. So if you see over here, you have agents related to threat intelligence agent, you have file URL analysis agent, you have the detection agent, and you have your incident analysis agent. So it is a proper baked in MCP tool and resources actually, with different agents handling different tasks. Everything laid on the system. We are not adopting it from any other third-party AI provider. It's our own, baked into the solution actually. So yeah, again, I don't have to talk too much about the MCP. You all are well aware about that. Let me skip that part and let me get into the demo because that's going to take some time. So let me come out of this, discard it, and let's get into the demo. I'm sure that many of you have already logged in and you have already had the look and feel of the CBX platform. So when
Danny,
you log in, Yes.
Danny, sorry, but the resolution is too big, so I am not sure that everybody see what is on the screen.
Okay.
If possible, please zoom in. Thank you.
What about now?
That's, I
Perfect.
think,
Thank you, Karan.
good. On the chat, please give
I can.
our feedback.
I've made it really big. Wow.
Great. Okay, Dennis,
Yeah, that's
give
better.
our
That's better. Thank you.
thank you.
Cool. So you basically log into the CBX, and then what I have over here is CBX complete. It's not the essential. So you get this basically threat landscape bulletin. You get the recent alerts. So it's basically helping the customer rather than them navigating through different news channels. They can directly come over here. You have their white papers, everything published. Then you come into the endpoint security dashboard where you see the agent management dashboard. You can understand what is the status of the agent on the OS distribution itself and what all modules have been actually distributed in terms of version. So you have, for us, we have all the modules enabled, like data security, web security, endpoint security, enabled across all the workstations at the moment. And as I told you, on GA, it's going to be Windows support only. Then you have your endpoint protection. I'm sure you have already seen this, where you have your adaptive protection capabilities. I told you it has come from ICDM. It has come from ESA, the dashboards. There are a lot of contributors over here. So in one of these, you have definitely seen these dashboards actually, where you have those adaptive prevention, protection capabilities, everything basically shown on the dashboard. And then one new thing which will be coming for complete customer, you might see this on the essential customer GUI without information, but the SOC analyst dashboard is something only the complete, the XDR customers would see data over here. So when it comes to top infection actors, what are your investigation activities? We'll come into those investigations. What are all the top infector actors, and then all the way into what are all your alerts, severity, the processes, the devices, the risk distribution over a period, and things like that. So you actually see everything what a SOC analyst want to see from this particular dashboard. Only for CBC complete customers, SOC analyst dashboard. Then you have your web security dashboard where you see summary of your web traffic, the connected websites that comes from the cloud, the Suede You see the web applications where it is gone, potential malware, blah, blah, blah. I'm not emphasizing too much into it. I'll focus on areas which would be helpful for your exam also. And that is where I'm going to deep dive into next, which is detection and response. Most of the things have actually come from Carbon Black Cloud. And before I start, I want to tell you what emulation, what I've done to generate this data. And as a disclaimer, none of this would have worked if the prevention capabilities was enabled. So I put my machine on a monitoring mode, and I have to run these emulations actually to generate information for the demo. So just keep that in mind. Make sure if you want some data, disable the prevention, run the emulation, and then enable it back. All right. So what we have done over here is I've tried to run most of the tactics from the 14 tactics across MITRE, and few of them which I'm missing as the initial access, because this all happens prior to the execution. So I'm looking at all these stages, starting from execution all the way into impact. Okay, so that is what you're going to see in the demo today. Now, once I ran the emulation, there were alerts generated over here, and there are two ways of adding alerts into investigation. So investigation is the place from where you basically do the entire investigation of that attack. All right. Alerts are basically anything suspicious would be flagged as alert, and it provides you the severity. And you have events. Events are everything general. So whatever happened on the system in terms of endpoint security or web security, there are different categories. You see the events. So these alerts, when I ran the emulation, I had to add it into my investigation. All right, so I don't know. Okay, anyways, my manual investigation is gone. I think so it is purged. I will show you one investigation which is already there. Okay, now this investigation is, let me see over here 1 second. Search. Okay, back timing. Any which ways, we have an investigation, thankfully. So this investigation is basically an investigation automatically created by the solution. That is why you see the type as analytics, okay? Because we studied the alerts, we understood that these are high severity alerts, and we flagged it with our analytics engine actually created an investigation for you. So that is the first type of analytics. And then you can have your manual investigation basically created. So you can go into alerts, and you can add these alerts into an investigation by creating that manual investigation actually. So let's deep dive into analytics. When I click on this investigation, what I actually see is it gives me an entire, so when the investigation which got created by the analytics, it is created, it automatically runs an AI analysis, and it maps you the threat tracer, it gives you all the recommendation, okay, for you. If it is a manual investigation which you're creating, you will have a button over here to run the AI analysis, or you can also later, maybe you have taken maybe 10 alerts as an example, maybe you want to add a few more other alerts to the investigation, you can always update the AI analysis. Unfortunately, I cannot show it here because it got purged. Now, coming into this analysis, I don't have to give you that explanation. It is going to give you that complete summary on what happened on the machine. That is this particular machine. And there is a particular implant called Splunk D and 789.exe. So these are the two implants which I downloaded on the system. And then from those implants, you can see a lot of PowerShell calls going in. You can see LSAS, memory dump being done using genuine Windows binaries, okay, typical living off the land kind of attacks. And then you can see that establishment for persistence, adding those registry entries to keep that persistence if the machine goes to a reboot, okay? And then you can see compromise and forensics activity, okay, what are the tools being used for that? You can see USL journal, typical activity where they clear the evidence from the system once they do the bad stuff. And then you have those CNC connection going to this IP address. You can see that there is also a stager binary which has been downloaded, which is trying to access the admin share. And this is definitely for exfiltration. You are looking at lateral movement, and exfiltration. So it maps you everything. I'm not getting into too much. It gives you the key observations. What I am interested over here is we providing you the prediction. So we are telling you, hey, this is what we are seeing in your investigation, and the probability of these behaviors to happen is 100%. So this is what I said. We can give you that predicted behavior, 4 to 5 steps. And here we have more steps ahead on what the adversaries would do. So the probability is 100%, and you always have the capability to deny this behavior, which would get updated on the adaptive protection policy of endpoint security. All right. So that is one thing which you have to keep in mind, AI analysis with that prediction. And then coming into threat tracer. Threat tracer is basically, it gives you a visual representation on what basically happens. So if you see over here, Splunk D is the implant. I know this looks like a spider web, but please forgive me. Splunk D, it called CMD, and then it called FSUtil, blah, blah, blah. You have all those things mapped visually, which will make, you can see the command and control IP address, you can see the command lines being called, you can see PowerShell being called, and what are the commands which is being run on the PowerShell. You can see it in a section called entities and remediation. So this is where you would see every entity related to this investigation shown up over here. So coming into that particular binary, which is the implant, you can immediately see that there are PowerShell executions, blah, blah, blah. So SOC analysts can easily come over here and do their investigation. So as I told you, it is for lean team. If you don't have dedicated SOC teams also, it is pretty intuitive. It is pretty understandable. You can do your analysis. You can do your triaging in the tip of your finger, actually, because it gives you everything, including the entire attack chain, including the remediation action, what you have to perform. In the remediation action, you can see that this is the behavior predictive analysis, what we have done. And in terms of containment, hey, isolate the endpoint, block the malicious IP address. So these were the outbound IP addresses, disable or add multi-factor authentication for the user. So you have the user information also. And these are all the binaries. These are all the hashes. This is the machine. You have everything basically, right? Including everything mapped out. In my custom investigation, which I had, I wanted to show you a flow also, unfortunately, that since I have integration with data security, I will come deep into this. I'm just telling you how it came. So if you see, one of the SecureLet is already integrated, Microsoft 365. Now, an email coming in over here, or a file getting uploaded to OneDrive, or deleting, or if a critical file, MC confidential file or PIA file getting uploaded, you basically get all this information through the DSPM enrichment as well as the SecureLet or SecureLet configuration. So what happens is when you come into the context over here, you can actually see an email. If it is a phishing attack, you can actually see, hey, there is an email which has come from this email address to this particular user. You can actually see from where it actually coming because of that O365 integration with CBX. So this is one pain point which we had in our earlier solution where you had to do API integration with your email gateway solution. Most of the customers are on M365 now. So go ahead and do that integration with your data security module, and then you will have that visibility also coming in. Now, I've spoken about events. Let's get into device query. We have taken these components from Symantec as well as from Carbon Black. So artifacts are from Symantec. If you want to look for a particular artifact on that machine, these are all post-execution things. I would say it can be forensics, it can be threat hunting, it can be a post exploitation task what you're doing. Now, artifacts, looking for the artifact. And when you come into the forensics, I'm sure you might have heard about live query, right? Carbon Black called it live query. Now it is renamed to forensics. Here, you can ask question to the endpoint directly, and the endpoint replies back with answer. It is categorized into compliance, IT hygiene, threat hunting, and vulnerability management. Very, very similar to OS query. So The concept is OS query. That's it. They have taken that, added this concept onto the Carbon Black solution, and now it is part of CBX. Okay. Here, a few of the things I normally use are list the users. So post exploitation, list the users. What are all the what do you say? Get the system information. Is there any USB connected? Was there any RDP status? What is the Windows event log retention, firewall status, and very importantly, is there a credential theft which has happened? So LSAS memory dumping over minicats or something, you see that kind of actions, you can actually get information. And again, list users, list processes, list the running process. That is one thing which I want to highlight, where, hey, you know that something has happened. You see alerts, and an investigation was auto-created, or you have created an investigation manually. And you want to see whether this, as our example, the Splunk.exe or 789.exe, is those processes still running on the system? How do you understand? Why do you have to depend on Proc1 on different tools to understand the running processes? Go and ask from here the questions, and that is basically what do you say, live query or device query. Now, in these things are there for CBX Essential also. What is not there for CBX Essential is script library. Script library is only for CBX complete customers. Now, what I put over here are, these are PowerShell commands. Now, what I'm doing is, what does this PowerShell command do actually? It is doing a complete host triaging. So basically, I'm getting into DFIR, digital forensics, and incident response activities, right? Where I am running my scripts for that triaging. Tomorrow, if you have a script to call your shim cache or a min cache or am cache to find those hidden files which were deleted, or the events which were deleted by the adversaries, you can, if you know how to build that script over PowerShell, you can definitely run, right? So when you upload this script, you have to first upload it as what is it, a testing script. So it is not production ready. I have already validated all these scripts and I made it as production ready. So I have created the script. I am collecting. So coming back into the script, I am collecting the OS information. I am collecting the logged on user. Few of the things I can get from device query itself, but hey, I can run it from a script. Who are the local admins? What are the top 15 processes by memory and path? Establish network connection. Is there any persistence, registry persistence? So I'm basically doing DFIR activities. So how do I run this script is taking a live response connection onto a machine. So you are taking a live response connection onto a machine which is offline. You cannot take live response. You cannot run device query. It is directly run on the agent. So I am connecting onto that machine over a secure connection. Okay. And then I can see the status of the machine. If you see, you might have seen in my previous demonstrations, this is similar to the live response of Carbon Black on-premise EDR and Carbon Black Cloud. But one thing what is different over here is you see a command called put script. Now, when I call that, that allows me to download the script onto that machine, and using the execfg command, I can call that PowerShell script. Same way like you call a PowerShell script over PowerShell, you can go ahead and call the PowerShell script from there, and I can run my triaging, host triaging directly on that machine. So in that command, maybe create a command to create a text file with the outputs. You can definitely add a parameter there and call that particular script. Okay, this capability is only available for the Symantec CBX complete customers. All right. Now, coming back into file inventory, these are all the files, very highly suspiciable binaries or low, medium binaries, what we have analyzed. And we are giving you this information. As I told you, this is part of ESG, if I'm not ESG or ICDM. Yeah, it's part of that. It came from it. And then custom detections. Again, only available for complete customers. You won't get it for essential customers. Custom detections are any detections you want. You maybe out of the box, these detections are not there, and you want to have a custom detection built in. Earlier in Carbon Black, it was called watch list or feed. Now it is part of the semantic DRA rules itself, but you can create your query. All right. So again, how do you build the query? You can basically come over here to events. You can ask the natural language query, give, create a query for AMSI, something like that. All right, which makes sense. Maybe my example is not valid now. Just it processes and then it is going to try to build you the Lucene query. That is a Lucene query what we are using, and then let it. Okay, that is a script load. Okay, that is. So you don't have to basically come over here and look into each and every syntax. You can just ask the question. It builds you the query. Coming back into custom detection. I don't know whether this example is good. I've taken Shadow AI, Shadow AI agent example. You know, Shadow IT, let's say Shadow AI, where your department, your IT department has not approved the use of these AI tools. So what I've done is I've created a custom query where I am going to detect the processes of all these known AI tools along with the API connection, what it is establishing to the cloud along with the URLs it's coming. So it's a combination, the process, the API, and API calls, and the domains which it's connecting actually. So I build it, and then I can see 3 hits over here. So if I look at over here, I can see that, hey, olama.exe, which is an open source AI tool, someone is using. There is a PowerShell call to use it. And then, hey, this particular user, how I got this context is because of my SecureLex integration, or else I wouldn't have got it. And I can see that, hey, for this user tried to connect to, sorry, where is it? It tried to connect to api.anthrotic.com. So that is Claude. So you can, this is just an example. That is not a very good use case of a custom query, custom detection. But hey, if you want to have some detections around and create combinations, process, network connection with a combination of API call or going to a domain or an unsigned binary making a network connection, whatsoever, you can definitely do that. The product's default detection is pretty much capable to handle all these things. But hey, if you want that additional detection, you can always you have the capability to do that. Coming into the XDR policy, it's pretty simple. You're collecting the telemetry, you're collecting the authentication events, and you're uploading the binary. So yeah, so this is where if the customer is sensitive on data residency, they should not send across different regions. Playbooks are not available. We don't have a concept of playbooks. It is not a source solution, all right? But what we can have, there is a sandbox integration also, same like our ESG, where if you see there is a suspicious file showing up over here and you want to run it against the sandbox, you can always do that. So here I run this particular file, 789.exe, against the sandbox, and I can see the results coming. That is the Cynic sandbox. You can see the report, what it has done, and then you have the static analysis as well as the runtime analysis showing up. So it has already detected this as a malware, and then you have the runtime analytics and you have the screenshots. I'm not explaining this. You guys are very well experts on the Symantec side. So you have that as well, the sandbox integration as well. So if you want to have playbooks, integrate with the SOAR. You always have API integration. Do that integration with the SOAR to run your playbooks. All right. Coming into the endpoint security part, everything is from the SES part. Everything is from Symantec. I'm sure you have already seen the adaptive protection policy, allow list custom behavior. You look at the essential policy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time over here. I'm sure you guys are well aware than me when you look at all these things. Now here you have the firewall component, you have the IPS component, everything as part of the endpoint security. Now coming into web security, as I told you, it is not the full web security stack. It is only the Cloud Suite Express basically. And here what you're seeing is if you want to run a query and you want to see the recent events, basically, so you run this, you can see the IPs connected to the user, the IP connected, things like that, where it is connected, what is the date, and you can have the report center from where you can have your web report when it comes to threads or which are the categories of URLs where it has been blocked, things like that. Non-typical web gateway stuff. And then you can have your identity integration coming in when it comes to SAML or ICS, SCM, intra ID. You can have those integrations coming into place. If you have any questions around this, I do have our expert Richard on the call. We can definitely talk about this during the questionnaire time. He's an expert and a guru when it comes to web security. Then you have your policy management. You can have your threat protection policy, content filtering policy, things like that. Coming into the data security session. So here, and to answer your question, is this a full DLP with protection? No, it is not a full DLP with protection. It is the DSPM Lite. DSPM takes care of the enriching the data when it comes to confidential files, and the cloud secure library where you can integrate O365 G Suite or Box to get that auditing, okay, auditing, file uploads, file deletions, email received, email deleted, all those auditing to add context into your investigation. Very important thing. So coming into agent management, that is typically from ESA. You have your managed agents, managed agents. You have your device groups. You can have, we have integrated with our intra ID. You can have users and groups here. You have your agent policy as well. Then you come into reports. You have your comprehensive reports when it comes to endpoint security, web security, everything. Web security, you have the dedicated, this is entirely related to endpoint security reports. And then when we come into the global administration, so you have, again, you can create your administrators. It is the solution is built for MSSPs. You can have different environments created for your MSSPs. I don't know if there is a licensing information around MSSP model available right now for CBX. When it's available, we'll definitely make sure that we share this information. Then if you want to integrate it with third-party identity providers like Okta or anything, you can do that. Very important API. We are securing it with OAuth 2. So you have that extra security as well. You have to provide your secret key to get that token. At the moment, the token is only valid for 60 minutes. I'm not sure whether that's going to be increased. At the moment, you only see it for 60 minutes. So you can do that REST API integration when it comes to APIs over here. Anything, building a custom dashboard or maybe doing some API integrating with a SOAR for the playbooks. You can do all those things. Then comes the very important part where you can forward data to your data forwarder. I will always recommend you for a SaaS solution, use the data forwarder to forward information to your SIM because it will be almost near real time compared where you forward where you have an API integration with a middleware in your on-premise, and that middleware pushes the logs to the SIM solution. It is not going to be real near time. So if you want to have events, if you want to have alerts, if you want to even have forensics query forwarded onto your forwarder, definitely go ahead and integrate with your Amazon S3 or GCS or your Azure Blob, and then pull the logs from here, from your SIM, within your SIM. Okay, so I think I have covered most of the part, and I believe this is informative. I'm sure that you will gain more knowledge when you are playing. Very important thing for the exam, again highlighting, that is a section from where you're going to get a lot of questions. And as Andreas have mentioned, if you pick the wrong answers, you can easily eliminate and clear that particular. So you might have multiple choice questions a lot, and the wrong answers are pretty obvious. You can easily pick them to select those right answers. So that is the area from where you're going to get a lot of questions when it comes to your technical exam. You will have questions around the endpoint security ESA agent architecture. You would have questions about the cloud securelet. What are all the default available securelets? That is one question. There are going to be more securelets coming in the future. Okay. I don't know if there is a roadmap for weblets where you can control those uploads and uploads to those weblets. Maybe it might come. I don't have information on the roadmap. You will have information you will have questions coming from the agent management side, especially on the unmanaged endpoints, managed endpoints, device grouping. And you will see question on the SIM part. API, I don't remember you have many questions around that, but hey, majority is going to come from that. this is a section where you have to focus a lot. I'm sure you guys are very strong in the set part. For the carbon black side, focus on this part. And the exam is not very difficult. You can definitely clear it. With that, I come to an end. I leave the mic to Andres and Kalman to help you with what you have to do on the technical certification front. Kalman, let me know if you want any help for that as well.
Currently, I don't see any open question. And part of the certification, I received a lot of emails. So in the background, we will investigate that what is the reason why the colleagues cannot access to the partner portal. Maybe just the activation needed. Danny, you have any comment? Andres, from your side, is anything?
I can maybe just give a quick overview, Colvin, on the certification. I personally written the exam as well, so I can give some of my tips and tricks in terms of what material to go through, if you want me to do that.
Absolutely, yes, please share.
Okay, great.
Everybody
Okay,
here.
perfect. Okay, so I think the first thing that I'll do is okay, let me just share my screen and then we can take it from there. Okay, share screen. Okay, great. Okay. Coleman, can you just confirm that you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So basically, what I've done to prepare myself for the exam is obviously I went through the sales training first. I think that's a good starting point. It gives you the foundational knowledge you need. However, for the purposes of passing the CBX Prometric exam, you will see in the technical sales section that there's a R1 course here. So this is the online pre-recorded course. So I would definitely start there in terms of the learning path to get you ready for the exam. Definitely do that course. I can't remember now, Danny, how long the course is, but I think it took me, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours or something like that to go through the entire course.
Yes,
yeah.
2 hours.
So that's a quick course. It provides a lot of detail, but not too much detail, but enough to pass the exam. Then what I highly recommend to do as well is to do this introduction and architecture course after the video that was done. This was done as part of the Technical Connect calls. But this is also a good thing. And then obviously I went through all of them. Thread tracer, for all of those that's not familiar with Carbon Black, the thread tracer one was good, but I would maybe just view all of them if you've got time. Definitely the APIs, the policies, and those. But I think definitely focus when you're really attentively listening. Is focus on these two, but do the overviews. Go and watch all of the videos. It's not long videos. It shouldn't take too long to cover most of them. I think most of the videos, the first part is like introductions and so on, so you can probably skip the first part and just get to the technical areas. But I would focus on listening attentively to these two courses and then overview the rest of the courses. What I also found specifically interesting was the data security one, because I think a lot of us is not familiar with DSPM and what it does. So I also found this one interesting. But yeah, I think this is the outline. Also, once you've completed this course, there's also some practice exams or practice questions that you can do at the end of this module. That will also help you a lot. But like Danny said, I think for preparing for the technical exam, I think a lot of the questions is answered by following process of elimination. So look for the wrong answers first, eliminate those answers, and then focus on the remaining answers that's left. I think if you follow that approach when you write this exam, then you will definitely be successful. It is a long exam. It's 65 questions. So for me, it got a bit bored when I was completed with question 30. But I think if you follow the process of elimination in terms of getting the exam done, then you will be successful in potentially passing this. Another thing as well is obviously the demonstration environment. So we will be slowly starting to give you the NFR licenses as per your requests for your own CBX environment. I know, Coleman, you've also been giving some people access to your own environment as well. But this is the next stage. So once you've passed the certification, I think you need to start building your own environment. And as Danny has shown, it's an easy product to get up and running. It's an easy product to show value. If you can have a demo environment available and you feel comfortable with demoing that environment, that is then the next stage that will potentially get you to the NICE certification. But like I said, first technical certification and then start working on building your own demo environment to get you towards eligibility towards the NICE certification. Coleman, is there anything else I'm missing here?
No, I think you delivered the full information package. On my side, the additional information that if you're a tier 1 or tier 2 partner, or you're a distributor, you can submit the request to get a free Pearson VUE voucher. So with this voucher, you can take the Pearson VUE exam for free. I put the link into the chat window. So if you feel that you want to do the Pearson VUE exam also, then submit the request and we will deliver for you the voucher.
I actually, when I practiced for the exam, I actually just did this. I see there's a whole bunch of product demonstrations that was added as well, which wasn't available to me when I prepared. So I'm sure if you go through these product demonstrations, that will also help you to prepare for the exam and also to learn about the product. So I see this is actually quite new. So I've just noticed it now for the first time. When I practiced, it was only these available, but you can probably go through some of these demonstrations as well to learn some of the key concepts. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen now. Just quickly, so where you find it, so this is the main page, so you'll get here. When you want to access the technical content, you just click on the technical sales tab and you will find all the technical content there, including demonstrations, technical information, as well as how to build your own demo environment. Great, thank you.
Okay, meanwhile, a question came regarding the order of the certification. Let me to share my screen and I will show the details. So the question was that the certification level, if you're talking about the proven professional or certified expert, that what is the right order to certify? In this case, we are talking about the technical sales. And if you're opening the website, then you will see that the first level is the proven professional, then the certified expert. Under the certified expert, you can choose 3 options: the Pearson VUE exam, proof of concept, or the demo lab overview. In case of the Pearson VUE exam, yes, if you are ready, you can do the certification, and in this case, not necessary to do the proven professional. So if you feel the challenge and if you feel prepared yourself, then naturally you can do the Pearson VUE, and then the certified expert certification will be released for you. In case of the proof of concept and the demo laboratory overview, you need to get first the proven professional. So here, this is a dependency. What you need to do for the proven professional, you need to record your session. So you need to present 30 minutes long and 30 minutes long demonstration needed. Here you see the link where you can upload the recorded session. So my recommendation, if you're talking about the enablement pass, first, do the sales part, do the online assessment.
Sorry, I think so. Your screen sharing is.
It seems, it seems that the system is not sharing the whole screen. Let me to check again. Share, screen, share. Okay, and let's see. Okay.
Yeah, it's showing. Thanks, Coleman. We can see it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So under the sales, again, I show you, first you need to do the proven professional. This is the initial stage to get the appetite. Then option 1, you are doing the certified expert if you are in the sales role. So in this case, you need to present minimum 30 minutes long the solution, and you can upload here the recorded session. You can do the recording session in the empty WebEx or Teams or any other conference application. So not necessary to invite people. You can be alone. You can talk to yourself, and you can present alone the solution, and then you can upload the presentation. So this is the first stage, and this is the sales part. If you are a technical person, and this is my recommendation, do the recording, present the solution minimum 30 minutes long, and then do the demonstration. For the demo, so basically you can use your own tenant, your own environment, and you can show the feature of the solution. And this is the trick here, because if you're a technical person, you can create just one single recording. Again, 30 minutes long presentation, 30 minutes long demo, and you can upload the recorded session under the pre-sales proven professional, and you can use the same recording. You can upload the file to the certified expert under the sales. Because you are a technical person, the colleagues at Broadcom enablement team will agree or will approve, because why you need to talk on the sales level about the solution, you are a technical person. So basically, with one single recording, you can get 2 certifications. The sales certified expert, the POC, actually you cannot do because we cannot release a trial license, or you can do the demo laboratory overview. In this case, if you have an access through us, through me, then you can do the demonstration, or as Sandis mentioned, you can do the Pearson VUE exam, and to support your activity, we can give the free voucher. So itself, the official Pearson VUE exam can be $0 for you, and you can be certified about the CBX. So this is the way that how you can be certified. If you have any additional question, or if something is not clear for you, feel free to contact with me on my email address or by phone or WhatsApp, absolutely up to you, which is comfortable for you. And we can go through and again, because very important, we are on the beginning of the journey. And I believe you see that itself, the solution is a game changer on the field. We are giving not just the endpoint protection, we are giving a lightweight network protection, and we are giving the lightweight data loss prevention function, data enrichment, data monitoring. But don't forget, if later the customer want to get the full visibility and want to get the full DLP function or the full proxy functionality, then naturally later they can upgrade, and using the CBX feature, including the full product features, they can create their own security stack. So on my side, that was the additional comment. As I see, all questions answered. So on my side, I stopped the recording. But before this, thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to contact with us if you have any question, and journey started with the CBX. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.